Hey, Mr. Jason.
Mr. Craig. Guess what?
Oh man, I am so excited. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Oh, you must be on fire.
I am on fire.
You know what? I'm feeling the heat in here myself.
I feel the heat, and we're not even in the same place, and it's heating up.
There's a dude who is literally on fire.
Is he an entrepreneur on fire?
He is. He's a dude Dumas.
Dude Dumas? Is it
Yes.
JLD? Are you talking about John Lee Dumas?
I am
Dumas?
so excited.
I know. It's actually pretty amazing. We just got to play it. Let's go.
It's a fast, quick one with the man, Mr. JLD. Let's do it.
JLD in the house. Let's do this. Yeah.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes Podcast.
Yo!
Yeah, JLD.
Yeah, boys. What's up, guys?
It is really JLD.
It is.
JLD in the flesh.
You didn't get a clone and put him in here. That is friggin' awesome.
That's coming. That's my next project.
That's smart.
Nice.
You know?
Then you could do 1 million podcasts while chilling in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Not bad.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is kind of a long time coming, and you agreed to do it. And wow, thanks. It's awesome, man.
it's awesome.
Well, listen, I'm happy to be here. Fired up. It's going to be a great chat. So let's get rocking.
Way to
love
throw
it.
fire in.
I love it. So first question we always ask, what was your first concert?
My first concert was Tom Petty at Great Woods, right a little south of Boston, if you guys have ever been to a show there. And it was fantastic. I remember, I knew like all his big hits, like, just the ones we've all heard of. But I never heard of just like the other ones that were like, a little more obscure, that were on the album but weren't like the big #1 hits. And so on the drive there, I listened to them on repeat over and over and over again. So that by the time I got to the concert and heard Tom Petty go into those, I was singing right along. And at that point, I just became like this massive Tom Petty fan. And like I still will go into my bathroom in the mornings. I'm about to take a shower and shave, and I'll say, Alexa, play Tom Petty. And I'll just kick it back and remember that first concert.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Love it.
Mine wasn't so good. Actually, my mom did correct me, and I did go to the Michael Jackson Bad tour. That was the first one. That was a good one. I thought it was Paula Abdul, which
that's
that's a rough one.
Straight up?
Straight up. It had the scat cat and everything. It was
amazing.
Hilarious.
So good.
Amazing.
Cool.
So, hey, JLD, you literally are one of the reasons why we're doing this. Like why we jumped into podcasting. We had, obviously, just like when you got out of the military, you didn't have any idea how to podcast either, right? And
Zero.
thank you for your service.
None. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think, so many people, and you talk about it a lot on your show, we do too. So many people create these roadblocks in their mind that they can't dive in and do something because there's all the million excuses instead of just doing it. You create the fear. But we just dove in. We just said the hell with it. Let's just do it. We'll figure it out. We'll get mics. And, as we started duct taping everything together, putting it together, now we have
Sounds like you figured it out.
Yeah. And it's the best. And it's just that grind. Something that is similar where you were doing, you committed to a podcast a day, you're putting in the effort. And then, which is very similar to the insurance business. So we're specifically, our audience is insurance dudes and dudettes. That's who's listening. And where there's this same grind is that it's daily to become an agent. You have to do so many calls, so many sales to create this big sum that actually drives revenue. And it's a super enormous challenge. And I've just, how did you get into that mindset when you were at the beginning and you just started plugging along? And I think that'd be valuable for our listeners to hear how you got through that.
For me, honestly, it's about putting in the reps. Like I'll get that question quite often of, John, like how did you become such a good podcast host? Like asking all the questions, challenging your guests, going down rabbit holes, finding a way back out of them, like just really focusing and directing and guiding these interviews and these conversations. Like I could never do that. I'm like, well, of course you can't, because you never have before. You think I could episodes 1 through 100? Of course not. I was terrible at my craft, but what did I do? I put in the reps. That insurance agent that picks up the phone call for the first time and gets rejected on the phone is like, I'm so bad at cold calls. Of course you are, because you've never done it before. You need to put in the reps. You need to look at every single one of those phone calls as one tiny step closer to actually becoming good at what you do, so that by call 1,000, you actually have a chance. And at that time, it's still only a chance, but at least you're giving yourself a chance because you put in the reps. So what is the biggest benefit of doing a daily podcast? That in 2,000 days, I did 2,000 episodes. I put in the reps.
So awesome.
You know, you can equivocate that to the travesty that just happened with Kobe Bryant. I mean, people are just like, how he was so gifted. He was so lucky to be. No, he put in the reps. He woke up every morning. He was the first person in the gym, the last person to leave. He was one of the hardest working people in the world at his craft of basketball. And that's why he became one of the greats. And that's actually honestly another reason why such a travesty would happen, is because he was taking that same attitude and drive and putting it into business. And you know, the impact that he would have had in the business world is like monumental. And the fact that we're robbed of the next 50 years of that is so sad. But, you know, that should be even a stronger call to action to every single person who's here. Like, don't waste your life, like not putting in the reps on something that you want to be good at. Like, I don't care that you're not good at it today, become good at it a year from now, putting in 365 reps in 365 days. Like, you're going to do that. Someone's like, I don't really have an expertise. I'm like, you could spend one weekend on any topic, go to YouTube and type that topic in, say, become better at blank, watch 5, hours worth of YouTube videos and tutorials on that one thing, and you'll be better than 98.5% of the world population on that thing by the end of the weekend. So stop putting up these roadblocks, these stupid, facades in front of your face. Like, get over yourself and put in the reps.
But you had to have a strong why, because I'm sure the first 100 episodes, you're like, at 50, you're like, why am I doing this? Like, no one's listening.
Nobody was listening. Nobody cared. I was talking to a black room, to a black hole. But my why was this. Hey, I want to talk to cool people, just like I'm doing with the two of you today. I love having these conversations. Do you think it was pretty cool for me back in 2012, when I was 32 years old and just a brand rookie newbie in the entrepreneurial world, to have a 30-minute conversation with Seth Godin and then Tim Ferriss and then Gary Vaynerchuk and then Chris Brogan and Barbara Corcoran, who I was watching every night on Shark Tank? It was unbelievable to have that ability to reach out and have conversations with those people. So even though nobody was listening, and even though I was making no money, and even though I had no traction that was happening, I was still fired up because I was doing something I wanted to be doing. And that's why it's so important that you actually look in the mirror and like take your pulse and say, like, is this something that excites me, that fires me up, that gets my blood moving? Like, is this something that I love doing? And for me, yes was the answer when it came to interviewing successful entrepreneurs. That's not going to be a yes for everybody in the world. It's going to be a yes for a certain small percentage of the world. Good. Join me in the podcasting game. But for all the other people that are listening, that's like, that doesn't interest me. Obviously, it's not going to interest everybody, and that's a good thing. So what does interest you? Go do that, and go do it more often by putting in the reps than anybody else is, and become the best in show.
Love it. And a lot of the dudes and dudettes out there are part of Fire Nation. Can you give us maybe a couple things of behind the scenes, something that, maybe that you don't talk about that often that might be of interest?
Well, honestly, there's nothing that I don't talk about that often, just because I do pride myself on being a super open book. I love transparency. I love being as open and honest and just genuine as possible. That's why for 76 months in a row, I've been publishing our monthly income reports, like literally opening up our finances with my CPA, with my lawyer, to make it all, official and believable that, these are actually real numbers. Like, we want to bring that genuineness to everything that we do, but also, you know, in these income reports, like showing what's not working and how we're losing money. Like we're about to be spending over $200,000 in Facebook ads on this upcoming promotion that we're doing for Tony Robbins. By the way, spoiler alert, we might fall flat in our faces and lose $100,000, $150,000, $200,000. Who knows? Or we might make $1 million. Like you'll know, because my income reports will show that later on this year. But guess what? Like, I don't know what's going to work, but I want to be open and transparent of what works, what doesn't, so you can emulate our successes and avoid our failures. That's big time. But, you know, kind of maybe open up a little different side of things, because I talk a lot about business with most people, is just my passion about health and wellness. And looking at both of you guys, like I can tell that like it's obviously something that you must do at some level, because you're not obese and fat like most of America is right now. Yeah. But the reality is, for me, I couldn't enjoy my wealth. I couldn't enjoy my success to the level that I do if I wasn't in great shape, if I didn't spend the time that I do every single day exercising, meditating, journaling, getting my inner game right so my outer game is right as well. And that's really big for me. So eating the right food, doing the right exercises, strength training, cardio, you know, again, putting that right food in my mouth, having my headspace so I can do journaling and meditation on a daily basis to make sure that I'm clear and focused. Like that's one thing that I don't get to talk about a lot, because it's not super business tactical, which most people want, which I get because I love that stuff too. But I'm passionate about self-care, because I know that getting 8 hours of sleep a night, I know that eating the right foods, putting in the right work on the exercise machines and the weights and the meditation, the journaling, that's why I didn't just win for 3 years, but I'm now winning for 7 going on 70 years. Like I might live till I'm 150. Right. I might get hit by a bus and die tomorrow, but I might live until I'm 150 years old, because man, there's some really cool stuff going on in this world when it comes to, you know, just all these breakthroughs that are happening with cell genetics and stem cells and all this cool stuff. And A, I'm going to have the money, and B, the desire, and C, maybe I'll live long enough to see some pretty cool opportunities coming my way.
Well, and you have access to talk to the people that have this knowledge, right? You've put yourself into that position. And that's part of the reason why we did this. I mean, ultimately we wanted to talk to you and talk to the Tonys and talk to the, you know, the Garys and all of these folks, but it's given us the ability to reach out and talk to people who we wouldn't have talked to. And most definitely our audience would not have heard from. You know, and we're super stoked to turn them on to your podcast also. I mean, it's huge, because that's made a huge difference in the way that we think in this industry that sometimes can be a little slow to move, right? They're very risk averse. And so here you are.
That's why it's exciting that you're doing what you're doing, because you're taking what's working in a certain industry, in a certain field, in a certain niche, and bringing it into your world. And that's really exciting. And that's one thing I talk about a lot as well, is the ripple effect. And that's why I love when I hear, right when we open the show up, you saying that, hey, John, you're an inspiration for the show even existing. And I love that, because it is hard work doing 2,000 episodes in 2,000 days. And not to mention doing all the other things that we've done with Podcasters Paradise, with my journals, with my traveling the world speaking and doing all these different things. It's just hard work, like work that I love, but it doesn't make it not hard. It's still hard work. And to hear that, like, now you guys are going to be going out and inspiring a whole, you know, generation and segment of people in your industry is awesome. Cause like, that's a ripple effect that, you know, I've had a hand in, and, you know, together we're just making this world a better place.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about real quick about mentorship. I know that you were part of Russell's inner circle, and I know that was kind of a game changer for you. And I'm sure that you've talked about other forms of mentorship. So
yeah, I just got back from a 5-day mastermind in Arizona with Russell, with Dean, Tony, Jen. I mean, like, just like the highest level entrepreneurs performing right now, because for me, it's all about all ships rise in a high tide. So how can I get around the most successful people so I can continue to up level my game? But I kind of cut you off there. So back to your question.
No, I love it. So yeah, you can go a little bit more into that if you don't mind.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're in the insurance game, like, you want to be surrounding yourself with insurance agents that are performing at high levels, and you want to be talking to them. You want to be learning from them. You want to be adding value to them. Like, it's so powerful and so inspiring. There's actually a quote I want to share with you guys. I'll have to pull it up here in a second. But it's so true and it's so real. I just read it today on James Clear's newsletter, which is an amazing newsletter. And you really just have to make sure that you are around the right people, but not just being this leech sucking from them. You want to be a leech sucking from them, but not just doing that. You want to also be adding blood, to that as well. Be adding value and thoughts and ideas. And you can do that. It's just important that you do that. So here, I'm going to pull up this, if I can, right here.
Yeah.
So let me just get this up right here.
And I think that's a great point that you had, because I think a lot of times, especially in our industry, there can be so much negativity. There's the high performers and the low performers. The low performers just sit there and they suck from each other this negative energy. And it's like,
they talk around in circles about woe is me, this isn't working, that's not working. Thanks for giving me a second to pull this up, by the way. So the quote is, before you ask for readers, write the article you wish you could read. Before you ask for the sale, create the product you wish you had. Before you need support, be the supporting friend. Before you need love, be the loving partner. Always give value before you ask for value. And here's a great example. I made that into a quick little text message, text replacement. Just I hit RRR on my phone and that whole thing comes up, because I'm going to start sending that message out to so many people. Because on my Instagram, I've got a big following, 200,000 plus followers, and I post every single day there. And I get so many people that say, dude, follow me, dude, help me, support my page. And I just want to be like, why would I ever in a million years do that? And why in a million years would you think somebody would do that? You're just there, like my stuff, support my page. Like, what are you talking about? You need to understand, if you want to get value from somebody, you need to first give value. So I'm literally responding to every one of those idiots with that entire phrase there. And one person wrote back like, bro, I appreciate it, but just like my page. I'm just like, you know what? You're literally never going to get it. And I honestly feel empathy for that person, because they're never going to win ever. And it's sad.
Yeah. And it's possible that maybe that's the best thing that could happen to them, is you telling them no, so they could stop and maybe figure it out.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah. That's the hope. And again, I gave you the example of this person that still was just way over his head. And some people are going to get it, and you just going to move on and just hope other people are reading that quote, laughing at that person, and implementing that in their life. So guys, we got 1 minute left. What do you got for me?
Boom. What's one question that no one asks you that you wish they would ask?
Oh, John, why do you have such an engaging smile? Nobody ever asked me that. And I got to say, it is from my dear mother. She just has a smile that lights up the room. And, I remember, honestly, as a child and as a young adult, just seeing that smile and saying, you know what? A smile goes a long way. And I actually have on my daily checklist of things to do, the first thing is smile. And I look at that, even though I'm kind of just like grimacing at my computer. I'm like,
there you go. That is
love
awesome.
it. Love it. Well, that smile brings joy to so many people, man. So thank you so much for doing what you do. We appreciate it. And we're going to tell all the dudes and dudettes out there to, keep promoting that.
Dudes, dudettes, prepare to ignite. Peace.
So Craig, not only are we both agents, but we talk to a ton of agents out there. And I feel like a bunch of agents have been talking about the aggressive growth goals this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know what the problem is?
What?
Everyone's running into shifting their focus from service to sales. And they're trying to do this quickly. But where do you find the growth, and how do you do this quickly? They all ask, right?
Ask any agent. It's not an easy task. Huh. Well, right now there's thousands of consumers shopping online for insurance. In fact, Jason, according to a JD Power study, 74% of insurance shoppers start their search online.
Dang.
I know, right? And you need a way to connect with them, but it's tough to do on your own. That's where a trusted partner can really make a difference, connecting you with insurance shoppers in real time. and helping drive some serious growth.
Well, EverQuote is the nation's largest online insurance marketplace with millions of consumers visiting their online sites every month. They're able to connect you with people who are actually shopping for insurance, not just submitting their info. Yeah, not just submitting their info to win a free iPad. We all seen that one, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And EverQuote's leads are delivered to you within seconds from the time they complete that form.
And one of the best things about EverQuote is that they're nothing like your typical lead vendor. They become a true partner in your business. You get your own dedicated support, recommendations, and insights to help optimize your results.
That's what I want.
Right? Plus tons of best practices. And guess what?
What?
A great blog. And guess what else?
Lay it on me, Craig.
A resource center to help you with everything from hiring to dealing with common objections. How awesome is that?
That is awesome. And I don't think anyone should go at it alone with an average lead vendor.
Heck no.
Work with a true business partner that has helped thousands of agencies just like yours, Mr. Craig, grow. And right now, EverQuote has a special limited time offer for all the dudes and dudettes out there. Did you know that?
That's awesome. You know what they need to do? They need to go to the website and they can learn more about the offer and start the conversation about growing their agency now. The link's down below in the show notes. Now let's get back to the show.
Ooh, let's do.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out The Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.